In this video, we're going to talk about the problems with diets and the mistakes you might be making. Before we begin, let's look at the definition of diet. Definition 1, the kind of foods that a person, animal, or community habitually eats. Definition 2, a special course of food to which a person restricts themselves either to lose weight or for medical reasons. Now, this is what people usually mean when they refer to a diet. But the issue with this definition is the part that revolves around restricting. And this is where the problem starts. I'm going to start dieting. What's the best diet to start? Diet starts Monday. This mindset revolves around making a radical change to what you're already eating, something that's such a contrast to the kind of foods that you enjoy, by restricting yourself completely from a particular food or food group. But don't worry, that's why they call it the 30-day challenge, the 8-week plan, the 7-day detox, implying that you only need to restrict yourself for a brief period of time. Doesn't sound too bad, right? Well, unless you have a medical condition that requires you to do so, there's really no reason to ban certain foods from your diet. There are no foods that make you lose fat, and there are no foods that make you gain fat. As an example, a lot of people think that carbs and sugar make you gain fat. However, the truth is that the types of foods that are high in carbs and sugar also tend to be high in calories, and are also not very filling, meaning it's very easy to overeat on them. And typically the kind of person who eats a lot of sugary, fat, junk food doesn't tend to be very active either. So whatever diet you're thinking of following, if any of them have you restricting the foods you love through your own willpower, you might be able to last the full length of the plan. But even if you manage this, when you finish the diet, when you go back to eating the foods you restricted yourself from, most likely any weight you lost will be gained back afterwards. So in this sense, following these restrictive diets is not something that you can maintain for the rest of your life. And this may sound pessimistic, but the figures don't lie. About 65% of dieters return to their pre-diet weight within 3 years. But don't worry, it's not all doom and gloom. Now comes the part where I tell you what you should know about dieting. There are no good or bad foods. It's very easy to put the blame on a particular food group. Let's be honest, if you're selling a diet plan, claiming that by removing one food group is the secret to weight loss, it's much more sexier and much more trendy than using actual science and the principles of energy balance. But the truth is that no one particular food or food group will cause you to gain or lose weight, because that will be determined by the calories you're eating. Next up, track your food. Most people don't have a clue about how many calories they're actually eating. Until you've spent time tracking and getting good at guessing portion sizes, how much you think you're eating is probably vastly different from what you're actually eating. Usual culprits for things like this are oils, spreads, sauces, not weighing out food. You don't have to track everything to lose weight. But if you're struggling to lose fat, one of the first things you should do is start measuring out everything to see if you're actually eating what you think you're eating. Next up, you should understand your diet history. What I mean here is that before attempting to lose weight, you need to look at the ways you've treated your body over the past. If you've spent years perpetually dieting and eating low-calorie diets, but you're struggling to lose weight, it doesn't mean that you have bad genetics or that you're doomed to be overweight. What could have happened is that over the years, your body has adapted to survive or maintain on lower calories. In other words, your metabolism has slowed down. 30,000 years ago, when we had to hunt for food and a slow metabolism meant you were likely to survive longer, it was probably a useful trait to have. But in terms of weight loss, it's not a good thing at all. So you need to spend time building your metabolism. A big mistake people make when trying to lose weight is spending too much time on low-calorie diets. This is a guaranteed way to make your metabolism slow down, and it's so difficult to lose weight when you have a slow metabolism. So instead of trying to reduce calories even further and fighting an uphill battle, you need to spend time building up your metabolism. An easy way to do this? Start lifting weights. Ditch the hours of cardio and focus on building some muscle and strength. Just by having more muscle mass, it will increase your metabolism. Second thing is to gradually increase your calories over time. How much you should increase them by will be different for everyone, but I'd recommend increasing them until you reach the target daily energy expenditure, or TDEE, set by the Katch-McArdle Formula, linked down below. It's important to know that speeding up your metabolism isn't something you can fix in a few weeks or even a few months. If you've spent years in a calorie-restricted diet, then it can take just as long to build your metabolism back up again. But as I said, we're not here for 30-day, 8-week bullshit transformations. These are changes you can make that will help you for life. Which one would you choose? Next up, still a controversial subject these days, cutting carbs won't make you lose fat. If you cut carbs from your diet, you will likely lose weight very quickly in the first couple of weeks. But that's because cutting carbs causes you to lose water weight. Now, if by dropping carbs, you ended up eating less total calories, yes, you can lose fat. But when most people drop carbs from their diet, they tend to replace them with foods high in fat, meaning that their total calories may not even change. But because they lose weight from water, they can often be tricked into thinking they're losing fat, when in reality, they're not, which is why your goal should be fat loss instead of weight loss. Number 6, I think, ignore the scales. While weighing yourself is a useful tool to track progress, getting fixated with the number on the scales is one of the worst things you can do. Weight loss is not linear. In reality, there are many fluctuations on a day-to-day basis. You might be holding more water, or even just have more food in your system. Don't panic if you weigh yourself and then a week later you've gained a few pounds. You may be holding more water, but it doesn't mean you've actually gained fat, which leads me to my next point. Take an average weight. A lot of popular diets these days will have you meet up for weekly sessions where you weigh yourself to track progress. And I've actually heard of people who, the day before a weigh-in, won't eat anything because they're scared of not weighing a certain amount. And that is honestly one of the worst ways you can approach weight loss. The weight you see when you step onto the scales is not only one day out of an entire week, but 1 minute out of an entire day. Your weight can actually fluctuate by several pounds over the course of 24 hours. So 2 things to keep in mind. Firstly, it's better to weigh yourself every day, but take a 7-day average. By tracking the changes in the averages, this will give you a better idea of your real weight. The second thing is to not look at fat loss as a short-term thing. That's why it really annoys me that every year you see these 8-week summer slim downs or lose your belly in 1 month. A couple of weeks or even a couple of months isn't long enough to see real change. Instead, focus on the long term, making your diet part of your lifestyle, something that you can maintain and enjoy. So those are some of my thoughts on the problems with most diets. I hope they offered a bit of insight and made you think about your approach to dieting. I didn't go into massive detail on all of the issues, but if you have any more specific questions, feel free to message me and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. If you're watching this on YouTube, leave a like, comment, and hit the subscribe button. And you can contact me on Instagram or Facebook. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.